The trash that was outside is actually trash that we were just over time taking out of the house. There's one trash bin. Teresa doesn't lift not a single finger to wipe a countertop. So we collect trash, take it out, we take out the trash cans, we do all of that. We do the cleaning.
I was reading through text messages. According to you, Milania, there were people that would randomly come through the house?
Yes, so I want to say it was around January or February. There was a man that walked into the house about 7 p.m. around the time I got off work. I just got out the shower. I was barely wrapped in my clothes. This man let himself in with keys. He started walking toward the den area, which at that point we were sleeping in there because of the mold problem. So this was February. And I was like, who are you? And my sister asked, who are you? What are you doing in here? He ignored us. He walked back toward the front door and started scrambling through the mail. He didn't say anything. He just walked out.
How do you address what they just said? How do you respond?
What happened is I have a nephew who has keys to my house. When Teresa was living by herself, he's had keys forever, but I told him, you know, you can check on Teresa. He didn't even know she had roommates.
Well, see, that's a problem, though.
I know, but
when you're renting out a place, you can't just give everybody keys.
He has keys for years.
It doesn't matter. They're now living there. Miss Carter.
I understand. You're correct.
Okay.
He should not be coming there. I did not know he was going to do that.
All right, so I'm going to open it up for my colleagues.
Thank you. You say you're suing for property damage?
Yes.
What was ruined?
It was the items that were ruined by the mold.
How much is the value of that property?
It's about $2,000.
And you have receipts for that?
Yes. Oh, some of the stuff I didn't have receipts for, so I ended up pulling
and you're countersuing. How much is the rent that's owed, according to you?
I think it's like $5,400.
How much rent do you owe?
I did not pay rent in November and December.
All right, so November, December.
Got her money
how much
back.
does that add up to?
It would be $1,800.
Your Honor, in January, we made a deal that she would pay me the rent, to me, cash at me, and not my daughter. She sent me $900, and then she sends me a text. There's mold here. And we need a place to stay, and we need all of this. So she paid the rent, and then she conveniently decided to tell me about the mold. So I'm saying this is a setup. So you send me money. You knew mold was in there. You knew mold was growing, and then you decide, oh, give me my money back.
Hold on one second.
So she wanted the money back so she could move.
Did you pay rent in the month of January?
I paid in February.
But did she send you that money back?
She did after our phone call.
What about March?
No, she told me...
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
what
sorry.
about April?
No.
Since you have not been paying rent in November, December, January, March, April, why do you not have $5,000 saved up from the rent you should have been paying?
Well, around the time that I was supposed to leave in December, I had applied for an apartment. I got accepted, and apparently it was like a scam. I submitted the money, no keys, no nothing. So I just need some more help.
Okay, I have nothing further.
All right, thank you all. You're excused while we deliberate.
This courtroom is now in recess.
This is going to come off perhaps a little harsher than it should, but I think what happened here was the scammer got scammed. The defendant, the daughter, saw a get-rich-quick scheme, came up with this arrangement with the plaintiffs that was going to put cash in her pocket, didn't really tell mom what was going on, had no idea what it meant to be a landlord, and found out that when a tenant installs themselves on your property, it could be very hard to get rid of them.
Yes.
In a poetic way almost, Ms. Childs is getting what she deserved here. On the other hand, the plaintiffs have been there, and I believe to a certain extent are taking advantage of a situation that they found rent-free. And they know they don't have to leave because they're not dealing with a professional landlord. But according to my calculations, the plaintiffs owe approximately $4,500 just in rent and at least $500 in utilities. That's $5,000 that the plaintiffs clearly owe the defendants. Meanwhile, the plaintiffs are owed because they provided extensive evidence that their property was damaged, for their own bills having been exposed to the mold, right? They showed pictures of mold rashes with a diagnosis. They've established approximately $5,000 in damages as well.
So a wash, go in peace.
I'm definitely on board with that.
I'm on board with that. Because we can't solve their real problems here.
Good riddance?
Yes.
Thank goodness they're not in our house.
Yes.
All right, I believe we have a verdict.